Hey everyone, welcome to PunkCast. My name is William Maxwell. I'm a student of Web3 and the owner of Punk9527. CryptoPunks are 10,000 uniquely generated characters stored permanently on the Ethereum blockchain. No punk is the same. This is a show dedicated to celebrating the punks behind the punk. My hope for this podcast is that we capture the essence of the punk culture, elevate the brand and the individual behind the punk. One last thing. Projects discussed on the show is not financial advice. Crypto and NFTs are a volatile and risky asset class. Please always do your own research. Other than that, let's go. Good morning, hi, and welcome back to another episode of PunkCast. Today we've got a punk that's beautifully clean, punk 6265 with 3 Attys, black lipstick, straight hair, and a hidden earring. In real life, she's a medical doctor with a deep passion for health, NFTs, and investing. She's also the co-founder of femalepunk.de, a website dedicated to empowering women. Please welcome Charlotte, or Fuchsbau13, to the show. Charlotte, how are you?
Hello, Max. Good morning from Germany. I'm so glad to be in the show with you.
Guten Tag. Is that the right way to say hello?
Yes. Guten Tag, Max.
Excited to have you on the show, Charlotte. I think there's been a few requests to have you on the show, so shout out to Suzanne there as well. I think they're excited to have you on the show. But
yes, I appreciate that. Thank you.
Maybe you could start us off with just a story around the handle of Fuchsbau, if I'm pronouncing that right. How did you come up with that?
Fuchsbau is meaning foxhole, and we call our apartment like that. For us, it means coziness, safety, being open for guests, and the fox is also a spirit animal, and it needs to act clever and quick and to observe very well. Nice.
Sounds like a comfortable place you live in.
Yes. We love our foxhole.
Well, delighted to have you on the show, and looking forward to uncovering your personal story and your punk story. But before we get into that, could you share a little bit about your background and everything leading up to crypto and Web3?
I wasn't so much into crypto. I had some Bitcoin and some Ripple. That's how I started. And I didn't even have an own wallet because at the time I didn't knew that it was important to know about decentralization and independence. I just had it on an exchange. And then I heard a podcast with Warren himself, and he told about NFT. I've never heard that before, and this resonated immediately with me. The technology, the different use cases, what you could do with it. The next day, I called Warren himself and asked him, can you teach me everything about that? And so he became my mentor for the next 6 months.
That's cool. So which podcast was it? Ron?
It was the Investor Stories podcast. It's a German podcast, and he was a guest there.
Ah, nice. Ah, cool. Just out of curiosity as well, do you get much translation from the Western English podcasts? Like, for example, Bankless, Anthony Pompliano, some of the American podcasts, are they translated to German at all or not really?
No. We hear them in English and hope to understand the best.
I see. That's cool. What's NFTs and crypto like in Germany? Is it big? Is there a big community behind it?
Germany is a country where security, or even assumed security, is very important, and there are not many people overall who are investing their money in any asset. And my father always used this old Warren Buffett quote, always make the money work for you, even when you are sleeping. And so I started very early with investing in stocks and gold and other asset classes. And so when I started into the NFT world, primarily it was to invest. But over the time, this changed completely. And now it's more about art, about friends, about communities. And that's a fantastic way, I think.
Absolutely. We'll got to dig into that NFT story a little bit more later on, but a little bit more interested into your personal life before crypto. I mean, what did you sort of study? I mean, you're a medical doctor, I'm assuming, and how did you sort of work your way through early on in Germany?
To answer the question, yes, I had a life before crypto. Sometimes you can't imagine that anymore. I am a family doctor and work in my private practice. I was born and raised in Hanover, North Germany. It rains very often here, so I have a lot of time doing crypto stuff. And the land here is really flat. And for me, it means I can go with a bike everywhere to my work or to some old patients. They can't leave their home anymore. I can visit them with my bike. That's what I love about living here. And I'm married to a surgical nurse. That sounds a bit of a cliche, but we met in hospital many years ago. I used to do a lot of emergency medicine, which was a big passion of mine because you can help the people right away. But it meant to work long hours, days, nights, weekends. And so I decided to cut down a little bit. Now I do more talking medicine and I'm a psychological support for patients in all situations.
Amazing. Crypto and medicine are two completely opposite ends of the spectrum of disciplines. You know, what made you decide to get into medicine early on? Is it something that you were always fascinated with?
Yes, it was a passion of mine. I think my father would rather have me in economics, but I loved medicine. The study is very hard in Germany. You have to learn a lot and forget it and learn new, forget it and learn new. It's like that. It's a lot of stuff. But from day one, I loved my work. I loved the work in hospital. I loved the work in emergency room. I loved the contact with my patients and being in a partnership with them. It's important for me that not the doctor says anything and the patient has to do it, but that we go through it together and we find the best way for each one.
Absolutely have a lot of respect for doctors having some family go through some medical issues before in the past. And yeah, I mean, you guys are sort of unsung heroes, right? Actually, really doing real things in the real world, and so as opposed to trading coins and imaginary JPEGs. But so credit to you there. How did you then transition into? I mean, are you still practicing medicine now, or are you?
Yes. I'm still doing a full-time job. And at the moment, I love my work. I have long days and I'm very exhausted in the evening. So I don't plan to do it until I'm 65. Hope I can leave a little bit early, but at the moment, I really love my work and can't imagine only doing crypto stuff.
Amazing, and I think it's probably the safer bet now, given the volatility of crypto. It's a little bit rough out there. So, how did you discovered Bitcoin? When was that? Was that long ago?
I think it was in 2018, but I just bought a little bit to mix in the portfolio, I think. Was not that much.
Yeah, and did you come in more from a pure financial angle or a more ideological values angle?
Both. I think the Bitcoin for me it's a very elegant asset. The deflationary system and that it's limited to a certain amount and that magic about it that no one knows who Satoshi is. There are a lot of things I like about Bitcoin. And now I buy Bitcoin every month, I think.
Nice. And so you bought Bitcoin, and then what was your transition into NFTs? I think you said you were listening to a podcast. I think his name was Ross, and then you went off and you started learning from him. What was your first NFT that you bought?
My very first NFT was a Desperate Ape wife. And it was long time my profile pic. And I waited a long time after buying my CryptoPunk to change my profile pic because I loved my Desperate Ape wife. I still love it. It's still in the kitchen. And the community is very good. And it was my first NFT Discord community. Before that, I didn't even knew what Discord was. I got into Discord via NFTs.
Yeah, nice. And do you remember when you first bought your first NFT, Desperate Housewife?
It was in the end of 2021. There was this crazy bull run, if you remember that. The Ethereum was about $4,500, and the floor of the CryptoPunk was about 100 to 110 Ethereum. And a CryptoPunk was so much out of reach for me. And then I started visualizing and manifesting every day. One day I will own a CryptoPunk because I loved them from the very beginning. And my wife was wondering, what are you doing? What is a CryptoPunk? But she always believed in me. And she said, sure, you will own a CryptoPunk.
What was it about CryptoPunks that drew you to it or drew your attention that early?
Another Punks colleague, CryptoRenner, he's also from Germany. He said, if you want to be cool, buy a Bored Ape. If you want to be more bossy, buy a CryptoPunk. And Warren himself and CryptoRenner, they are also famous punks in Germany. And I loved the punks from the very beginning, and I loved how they look and the meaning of them.
So you're generally pretty bossy then?
Some people say that, yes. I don't think it's true.
No, I think there's some truth in that. And it's surprising. I think there's actually a few punks out of Germany now that I know of. So I think Ross is from Germany.
I think we have about, 15 or 20 punks in Germany. And via the Punks Club app, I found a CryptoPunk. He's 40 minutes away with a car from me. So I connected with him, and we had a meetup already. And that's a wonderful thing, this Punk Club, I think.
Amazing. No, that's really great to hear. Yeah, it's surprising that we had that many. Maybe it's just so focused on the US sort of space. But now that I'm sort of getting a little bit deeper into punks, there's actually a lot more Germans that I was aware of. So I think I had Reneel recently on as well, and Artis that was on as well. That's also from Germany. So shout out to those guys. And then so you were intrigued by CryptoPunks, and in late 2021 they were very expensive. Talk to us about your purchasing journey to CryptoPunks. What were you thinking? How was the decision sort of made to buy a punk?
I started buying Ethereum when it had its lows. And then I waited and waited and waited. And I had a certain amount which I could afford. Then it was March 2022. It was the 2nd March, I think. The days before, I saw my punk near the floor, and I immediately knew this is my punk. I felt it in the heart because she looks very much like me, I think, with dark blonde hair and blue eyes. Maybe you can confirm that, Max.
She does.
And I really knew it. And I was so excited this day, even more than today on PunkCast. And yes, I did it, and it was a real big thing for me.
That's a beautiful story. And yeah, she does look very reminiscent of you as well. You know, when I was looking up your punk, and looking up the attributes, I hadn't realized that you had an earring as well. Were you aware that you had a hidden earring?
Yes, and for me, the punk I own, she's an underdog. And I myself often are underestimated. That's sometimes an advantage. I've never been pulled over by the police.
Unassuming, no, understated. Yeah, for sure.
Yes,
Um,
understated.
yeah, it's a beautiful punk. So congratulations on the purchase. And what did your wife say to you buying the punk?
She wanted one too. My wife is not as understated as I am. She's very tall, very beautiful. She has light blonde hair and green eyes, so it has to be a punk with a light blonde bob, green eyes, and I think she would like the Tiffany pendant too.
Well, hopefully, you can find one soon. It might not be a bad time to look for one.
Yes, I think I have to start manifesting again first.
And if money wasn't an issue for you, what punk do you think you would buy?
As said, I would buy the punk for my wife. And for me, I would definitely buy a hoodie punk. I love the hoodie punks and I love wearing hoodies myself. And I think they are very OG. So very modest wishes.
Yeah, the hoodie punks are really cool. And for you, like, how do you see punks? Are they do you classify punks as art?
Punks are much more for me than art. They are a kind of lifestyle. They are a symbol for living your dream and that it's okay to be not to be in the mainstream, I would say it like that.
Yeah, absolutely. And are you looking to sort of collect any NFTs in this market at the moment?
There are some artworks I'm looking after. The first artist I came into personal contact with was Ilya Katsakov. He draws beautiful pictures of little cats and little birds, and he does a GM picture for Twitter every day. It brightens up my life so much, and his artworks are full of love and only heartwarming. I really love them, and I have a lot of him in my wallet, I think. The second one is the Focus Block collection by Lana Moore. He had a great podcast too. I listened to it. And from the Focus Block collection, from the first one, I own a portrait. It's wonderful, of Romy Schneider. She's a famous German actress and icon. And when I was a little girl, I watched this Sissy, the Austrian Empress films over and over again with my mom. The Sissy trilogy is one of the famous German films of the 50s. So we don't have the Matrix trilogy, but the Sissy trilogy. And I really love his photo arts. It's fantastic, I think. And the third one, it's not an order or ranking, is Random Like You. He's a very young artist and he does particle art with AI. He works with AI a long, long time, even when the most people did not hear about it. And when he talks about his art, he's so full of poetry. I could listen to him the whole day. And for me, he's a hidden gem.
Yeah. What was his name? I didn't catch it.
Random Like You,
Random Like You. Okay.
spelled all together.
Yeah, nice. All right, I'll have to check that out. I do have a couple of Focus Block as well. So shout out to Lenamore there as well. That was a really nice collection.
I love them. I love them.
And I'm just looking through your wallet and your vault. You've got a couple Derek's photography NFTs as well.
Yes, the
Tokyo
pirate
ones, which are really
punk.
cool. Yeah.
Regards go out to Island. I could look at these videos ever and ever again. They are so good, mixed up and beautiful.
Yeah, they are
I'd
beautiful.
like to tell you a story if you want to know about
sure.
how the Smoke and Mirrors NFT by Justin Aversano came to me.
Sure.
Justin, for me, is one of the kindest personalities in the space ever. When I had the end of my mentoring after these 6 months learning about NFT, crypto, DeFi, everything, there was an art exhibition by Bright Moments at Kraftwerk Berlin. Kraftwerk Berlin is a place, it's like a bunker with massive walls made from concrete, and techno parties often take place there. It's a very famous location. And the colorful NFTs in these digital frames looked wonderful. And then I met Justin, and he said to me, "You are chosen." I said, "Chosen for what?" And he chose 10 people randomly and went to us with the rooftop of the Kraftwerk. It was all red with laser spots, and there were video installations. And we did a spiritual ceremony about Mother Earth to be thankful. And then he picked a Smoke and Mirrors tarot scroll for each one of us and gave it to us in person. And I got the Ace of Cups. It's just wonderful. It's about joy and inner peace and abundance, and it fits perfectly to me. And of course, I immediately framed it for the foxhole. You can see it in the background. And it was such a magical night. And that is what about why I'm in NFT space. It just connects the people about the art. And I'm still in contact, sometimes with Justin, he's very busy, but with the other women from this exhibition who also got a Justin. And it was such a special day for us. I will never forget this. So thank you again, Justin.
Yeah, no, Justin's he's an amazing person, and also a punk as well. And I've noticed in your vault, most of your vault is filled with punk art, or punk artists to that effect. But Justin actually did come through Hong Kong probably a couple of weeks ago, so he's going on a crazy itinerary for his next project, and he's got some pretty exciting things lined up. But yeah, so I think that sounded like such a special moment to have to get that piece of Smoke and Mirrors as well. So it's a beautiful piece too. So it's nice to sort of see that. Nice story. So just in terms of community, then, like, how do you sort of connect with most of these people? Are they on Discord? Are you mostly connecting with punks on Discord, or you've got some other ways to sort of connect with them?
To be honest, most of all, I love the contact in person. It's not always possible to do it face to face. In Berlin, I often met great personalities like Annika Meyer and other artists. But I think, like we both do it today via Zoom, it's also very good. And I think you can share your thoughts best when you see the other person and can talk and interact. And the second way is, of course, via Twitter.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I think when you meet somebody in person, it's a completely different experience. It just adds another layer of depth to the relationship and the conversation, for sure. And just out of curiosity as well, Charlotte, do you collect traditional art at all?
No, And my interest about art just started with NFT. Of course, I went to the museum one time or another, but I didn't have any piece of real art in my home. And now I am much more interested about art in generally and photography in generally. And it's a whole new beautiful world that opens to me.
I'm the same. I mean, I appreciated art, but I never really bought any or didn't really find a close connection to it until NFTs. And I think the thing about NFTs is when you get in, you can, you know, get direct access to them through Twitter, Discord, and you build like as you said, like an emotional connection or real relationship of some form between the artist and the collector, which is really special and nice, right? So I think I came in exactly the same way as you did. So it's nice to hear.
Yes, and I think it's special about the NFT space that the people are real givers. They are friendly and they are open and they love it when you appreciate their art and they want to tell you their thoughts behind their art. And that is so worthy, I think. I'm in other maybe investing groups like shareholders or something like that. And when beginners have questions, they often get a shitstorm. And I don't know why. In the NFT space, when someone asks how can I set up a wallet, someone will help you. And I think that's what all about. And this is a real punk spirit for me, to help others and to be there for others, even when no one sees that you are doing it.
Absolutely. And Charlotte, what's been your experience with the punk community in general so far? Like, how did you find it?
The punk community was always very welcoming to me. The first time I wrote something in the Discord, I was excited and just wrote, "Hello, I'm new. I have a new punk." And I got a lot of response, and everyone said, "Welcome," and "Good to have you in." So these are very great people, and they are people, they are not talking, they are doing things. And that's the difference. There are a lot of people in the world, they talk about, I could do that, I could do that, but the punks are real builders, and I love the spirit. And if someone has an idea, they just think it further. In Germany, it's like if you have an idea, this already exists, or are you sure, or better not try this. And I love this building spirit.
Yes, absolutely. Very helpful. And also, yeah, definitely mostly everybody's leading and building something in the space, either creating and investing or something of the like. And when you look across the punk community, do you have any favorite punks that come to mind for you?
Yes, of course. My punk of the heart is Suzanne. She was always there for me, and I feel deeply connected to her. She has a wonderful art collection, and she also has a deep knowledge about digital art, and she's my punk of the heart.
I think she's many punks' favorite. She's a beautiful soul that we've got in the community as well.
Yes,
So
yes.
I've got to agree with you on that one. And if you were to describe punk culture in a few words, how would you describe that for you?
Punk culture for me is far more open than it's generally perceived. It means to me that it's okay to be different, to follow your dreams, and to listen to your heart. And it's about being kind. And this is the most important one, the last one.
We all need a lot more kindness in the space. That's
Yes,
for
yes.
sure.
And not
And
only as a CryptoPunk, but every day. Every day you have the new chance to be kind to someone who deserves it or to anyone you meet. And this is a fantastic intention for the day, I think.
Absolutely. Charlotte, do you have a view on the Yuga acquisition? Do you have any feelings towards that?
The Yuga acquisition happened very short after I bought my punk. I feel good about Yuga. I have a mutant ape. To be honest, it didn't worry me. But the most important thing for me is that the rights of the punk stays at the owner. And then it's all good because I have faith in the CryptoPunks themselves.
Charlotte, one thing I did forget to ask you about is femalpunk.de. Could you share a little bit about what that is and just for our listeners of what you're working on there?
Yes, sure. After I bought the CryptoPunk, I secured the web address femalpunk.de without further thought for the time being. In the meantime, I started the Female Punk project together with my wife. It's about women over 40 living self-determined lives and taking care of their finance and of their health. Many women at this age feel kind of invisible, and we want to improve that. We help the women with investing, Web3, cryptocurrency, and that they believe in themselves. That's very important.
Nice. And mostly focused on the German market because I had to use Google Translate to read some of the content on your website there.
Okay, yes. It's for the German market, and it's at the moment we are working both time full and the time is limited, and it's just supporting with the other woman because everyone gained a lot of experience by now. And we don't just talk about the good times of life, but we use spirituality and routines to cope with crises and failures as well. And I think no matter how old you are, you can still realize your visions and dreams.
Oh, nice. I'm sure that'd be very useful to a lot of people, not just females, but also men as well. um, but
Yes, yes.
well, I hope to see through your journey. I hope you find many success and that you find a way to onboard more female CryptoPunks into the space.
Yes, that would be great. And that's the thing. I went into this podcast because I consider myself quite as a normal person, and a normal person like me can buy CryptoPunk. So it's and even if you have no CryptoPunk, you can awaken the punk in your heart, and that's what it's all
Absolutely,
about, I think.
absolutely. Well said, Charlotte, and really delighted to have you on the podcast and unpack your story. Really enjoyed getting to know you and your story. Wish you all the best with your career and with female punk. I hope to see you in person at one of these events sometime soon. Just a final question before we close out. If you could pass a message on to the next owner of your punk, 6265, what would you like to say to them?
The message is you are unique, be authentic, and when you take the first baby steps towards your dreams, the universe will provide.
Nice message, Charlotte. So I think the next one is going to be a special one. Charlotte, any final closing comments on your side, and what's the best way for people to find you?
You can find us on Instagram. Our handle is femalepunk13. My wife loves new followers, so give her a go. And I'm on Twitter, Fuchsbau1313. And for the German community on femalepunk.de. And I want to say thank you so much, Max, for guiding me so smoothly through the interview. I was so nervous at the beginning, and now I feel I continue talking to you for hours. even if nobody is listening anymore. Maybe I'll visit you in Australia someday.
For sure. I'd love to have you. Charlotte, you did fantastic, and you did really, really well. I think you speak English better than I can. So I think you did a really great job. So thank you again.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Guys, thank you so much for tuning in to this week's episode of PunkCast. We'll be back next week with another awesome punk. Bye for now.